Hello everybody, T-Rex here, and today I'm going to be building a Ceratosaurus. And why? Why have I decided to build a Ceratosaurus this time around? And while the template goes up here, so if you feel like following along and attempting to build this with me, you can go ahead. What I mean by attempt is because it's an attempt for me too. I honestly have no idea how I build these, but you guys seem to like it, so that's what I'm going to be doing here today. But anywho, why did I pick Ceratosaurus? And that's because it is treated so badly all the time. It's been mauled, it's been ripped apart, and it's just treated as this cannon fodder for bigger carnivores. There's never anything, even that I can find, at least I'm not knowing of anything of a dinosaur of the Ceratosaurus in a documentary, just the Ceratosaurus. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. We're going to be giving this carnivore its respect and its due. So all the way through this video, there's going to be some facts about this guy and all sorts of stuff. And yep, that's what I'll be building today, is the Ceratosaurus. And I also get asked this question quite a bit of T-Rex, what kind of cardboard do you use? So I'll show you. I use this kind of cardboard. It's just pizza boxes, thin boxes like the Red Baron, for example. And here's some other pizza boxes. I like using pizza boxes because they're nice and big. Also, cereal boxes are very nice as well. You can use those. Even smaller boxes also work. This is a bad example because that's just another cereal box, but also smaller boxes. As long as it's the thin kind of cardboard, it works a lot better than the thick stuff. So make sure it's a thin cardboard material. But yep, that's the kind of cardboard I'll be using. So that's it. So let's get on with this and see how it turns out. So starting off here, I'm going to be tracing a line out for the Ceratosaurus templates. I like doing this with a pen or pencil will work. This just makes it so I know where I'm going to be putting the the Elmer's glue down, so I can just glue these down. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing at this point in the process. I'm just tracing out the different templates onto this, and we'll just be putting them down. And I believe now is a good time for our first Ceratosaurus fact, and that is the Ceratosaurus was discovered and excavated by a farmer, Marshall Packer Felch, in 1883, and it continued the excavation through 1884, and it was a nearly complete skeleton, and it included the skull. So it was only a few pieces of Ceratosaurus missing, and the skull was there. That's pretty cool. They got pretty much the whole Ceratosaurus at the first get-go. Sometimes they only find limbs and things, but when they first discover a dinosaur, maybe a horn or a spike, and then maybe later on they'll find the full skeleton. But no, here they found pretty much the whole Ceratosaurus. There's just a few pieces missing here and there. So that's a pretty cool fact right there. As shown there, there's the teeth. I'm going to put the teeth up there. And so here, what I also needed to do here for the teeth is you want to also coat the teeth with paper on the backside, so the teeth are going to be fully white. For the rest of the dinosaur, that's not needed. But for the teeth, it's definitely important to get those all white. That way you don't have to go in and paint them, so they're going to be white on both sides. So while those are drying, we're going to go in here and cut out the Ceratosaurus parts. And for the smaller bits, I like to use a smaller pair of scissors, because they can get in there real easy and do a very better job at cutting all the different parts out for the different builds that I've done to. And yeah, those tiny scissors work really, really well. So if you don't have any, get some. They work really good in the cutting parts out. So just make sure that you have a good pair of big scissors work too, but small scissors make it a really easy job to just cut around tough corners and different things. And now the teeth had time to dry, we're going to cut them out with the scissors there, get in that all cut right up, and then we're going to snip it, snip. Get those all ready to go to get them cutted, and then I'm going to bring the tiny scissors. This again works really good, and then can be pretty much made as little pyramid cuts. So you just snip, snoop, just like that, back and forth, down the whole length of the teeth. Just cut them out like that. And then once you have all the teeth cut out, you want to save all the little bits the excess bits that you cut out with, and I'm going to put those in the bags because they're going to be used for little details for this Ceratosaurus when we come to the detailing part of the process. Alright, as you see, here's all the heads here, and I'm going to be cutting out this segment here, and this is going to be the gum line of the Ceratosaurus gums. So you're going to make sure to cut this out like so, get this all snipped, and get it all ready to go there. And then what I like to do is trace it, but this is, no, you don't want to do it like this. I was about to make a mistake. As you can see, I made a mistake there with that cut, and I realized that, so I'm going to be taking a different head and tracing that one instead, like that. And it won't really matter, but I just like having a nice clean white side to work with. So yep, scribbled that out. And now I'm going to be snipping this way, like so, to get that ready to go. And we'll be moving on from this step on to what we're going to be doing with those two pieces onwards here in just a sec. So here we go with this part. I'm first going to be covering these in Elmer's glue. And what that's going to do is create a nice surface to put paint on. Elmer's glue is a really good sealant, especially for paper, so definitely do that at this point in the build. Shook the camera there, but we'll just continue on like so with that. Next fact about the Ceratosaurus is that it lived during the late Jurassic period. Once the front side is done, I'm going to be painting the back side of it as well, because that's going to be the inside of the mouth area, so I want to just get that all sealed up as well, because I'm going to be painting both the front and the back side of this part. While that is drying, I'm going to be covering this whole piece of cardboard in a nice piece of paper, because this is going to be our, what I like to call, fill-in piece. This is where we're going to be filling in the dinosaurs. This is how we're going to be building the legs of the Ceratosaurus primarily, and the arms, filling in those. You'll see what I mean when we get to the building process of the limbs and different parts of the Ceratosaurus. But this is a very important piece, and getting this nice and smoothed out, as you want to make sure it's nice and smooth. So you're just going to do that, make sure it's really good, smoothed out there, and make sure there's no bubbles or anything underneath, and nothing dry or popping out. And then we're just going to snip it like so, cut off all the excess paper, make this a nice, pretty piece ready for work. And now that these two pieces have dried, I've cracked out my paint brushes here, and we're going to be painting them. And this is going to be a pink color that I'm using here. It's a Citadel paint. You can use whatever paint. I just have Citadel paint. I like that paint, so I use it. Shaking the bottle up, getting it ready for going here, open that up, and we're going to be painting it. And I'm going to take at least 2 layers of coating to get this pretty darn coated here. So just go through and make sure it's painted up. It doesn't need to be rushed here. You just put in a little bit of paint right there on the gum line, right there, big flappy pieces that the dinosaurs have. So we're going to be just painting that up there on both sides, like so. And here comes another fact about the Ceratosaurus. The Ceratosaurs were approximately 16 to 20 feet long, or 5 to 6 meters in length, and weighed about 2,200 pounds. However, isolated fossils point to much larger specimens, perhaps 23 to 26 feet in length, or 7 to 8 meters. And then, of course, once that's painted up and dried, then after that it will be covered up with the Elmer's glue and sealed up there, so it's nice and sealed. And then, once that's all done, we'll be painting the backside of the gum line. So we're going to get that all painted up now. And then, of course, once that dries, it's going to be sealed with Elmer's glue. It's going to create a nice sealed bond there, and it's going to look very, very nice. So what you're going to need: a hot glue gun, hot glue sticks, X-Acto knives, all the templates I've made up, and these little doohickeys right here. Get them at Hobby Lobby. You're going to need 2 of them, and they're going to be for the jaw. There's different sizes of them. You can get the smaller ones and bigger ones, but these are the bigger ones. And now we're going to be tracing out these little angles, and we're going to be cutting them out, and they're going to be filling in the toes. And you're going to need a total of, how many do I have here? Let's see, we got 6 so far, 4. We've got quite a bit. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, about 8 per side. And then we're going to start attaching them here with some hot glue. And this is how the feet are made. Pretty simple. You just put a little tab on the bottom, let it glue up, hook them on the top, and there we go. Then we're going to fill it in on the sides, and just get all the toesies little hooked up, and then you're going to trace and make sure the sides are just right. It's really an eyeball thing when it comes to actually building the figure here. You just kind of, just get it to fit, and it works out at the end. So you're just going to snip, and don't worry if the bottom toe doesn't match up with the the underneath side. As long as it, you just need to attach points and make it all work. As long as you make it work, it's good. As you can see here, And here's another part where you just trace and eyeball it, cut it, make sure it fits, and you can trim it. I do find it easier to cut before putting it on. But if it's if it's a little bit too thick, you can always use some scissors or a really sharp X-Acto blade. So you can just cut that up and clean it up and all that. So yeah, we're just getting this foot all put together here, getting all the little axis bits snipped off. Then we're doing the front of the foot here, and just getting that all cut out here. We're going to fill that in right like that. It's okay if it's messy. It can easily be cleaned up afterwards. And if anything breaks apart, you can easily fix it while the whole gluing process is going on. And if there's a little bit of gappage down below, you can always just fill it with hot glue, smooth it out. It's all good. And again, just clean up the edges after it's all done. Smooth it out with hot glue. And that's pretty much it for the leg. I believe this is the right leg. Yep. So we're going to be getting that leg all done up here and made all nice. Look at that. Getting that all nice and cleaned up. And that's leg right. And then we'll do a little hooky claw. That's on the foot of the dino. So just doing a little hooky right there. Just a little put. And there we go. Look at that. Simple. And there's the legs. And there's the left leg. So just copy the same process to the left leg and just make it like that. Same exact thing. Alright, so now we have the little arms of the Ceratosaurus. Getting them all made up here. And these ones are quite small. Getting the fingers and everything just right at this scale is quite a difficult thing to do. But it can be done here. So as you can see, I've got the hands in the middle. And this is just kind of create a easier way for the sickle claws and doula-dads to all get put together here. And this little cleanup and everything. And yep, there's the hands all done. So that's how the hands are put together. Not too difficult. No, not too bad. And now we got the teeth. And these are going to be put some Elmer's glue on them right away. The whole guy's going to be covered in Elmer's glue eventually. But Elmer's glue is the very coat that's going to be put on before painting or anything is done. And the teeth are going to be shoved into the mouth later on, like molars or dentures. And now we're going to be cutting out the lower jaw here and getting that all ready to go. And that's going to be where we put the little tacky thing. And it's going to slip right into that hole. We can get that all nice and dribbled out and cleaned up and all nice like. Just getting that hole made out. And again, this one is kind of big, so I do ended up cutting a bit of it out. So if you get the right size, it works. I didn't have the right size. Wasn't going to go down and get some. Hobby Lobby's quite a way away from me, and I didn't want to spend the gas. So we're just going to clean that right on up like so. And get the whole head bits here assembled like so. And then the bottom jaw. And you also want to make sure that you don't hot glue the upper part of the jaw, because we'll be slipping the teeth in. So you don't want to over glue it. No over gluing here. And there's the jaw working. And look at that. And then a little glue in the back side to make sure it's all hooked in there. And now, see, like I said, getting those teeth shoved into the mouth there, and then you can kind of fiddle it and figure out what size you want. And I use Elmer's glue here, that way you have a little more time to work with it, instead of hot glue where you put them in there and they're pretty much locked in right away. But with Elmer's glue, you can kind of have a little bit more time to work and getting them the right length and the right size before it dries. So Elmer's glue, definitely recommend using that at that point. And now comes the fun part, the hooking of the two sides. And this is called the big wing, because you don't know how it's going to fully work out here. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a shot here and see how it all attaches. The first few times, it's very fiddly until it starts getting hooked in there. And then you got to force the bends and everything. It's quite a task. A lot of burnt fingers during this part. But, it will get there. It will get there. You just got to, keep clipping it, gluing it. Sometimes you gotta glue it several times. Just gotta get it in there. It's however it works out. It's gonna fiddle. It's gonna be fiddly, but once it's all glued, and sometimes you go back and re-glue it or not. It kind of depends on how the situation goes. And now this is the assembled part. We got everything pretty much put together. And now we're just getting all the parts assembled here, getting the belly figured out where that's gonna be going. And then we're going to start gluing it all in. And this part is also quite fiddly. You're trying to get it just on the edge, and it's quite a difficult point. But it can be done. and you just kind of, you shove it in there and make sure it fits right. And you just kind of snip around all the access bits, and it's very much fit, custom fitting. So there are templates here, but again, for all the other parts, it's kind of just, you have the lines, you just clean off the access and you're pretty much all good to go. And you just gotta get it to fit, and then it'll be just fine. No big problem there at all. And oh yeah, so this, I believe, is where we're gonna be doing something else. Not sure. I'm just thinking ahead right now. But let's not focus on that. So we're just cleaning up the Ceratosaurus body here, getting it all smoothed out and everything. And this you can spend as much time as you want on. You're just really smoothing it out and getting it all worked out there. Ooh, got a burpee. I've got a burpee. Anywho. So we're just going to be getting it all put together here and checking out the balance. It's important to make sure that the figure stands without any issues. And sometimes rocks are required to fix the problem. But sometimes they're not. So it just depends on the situation from that. And there's the bottom jaw all put together. You do fill it around a bit, and then you can get the head and everything to fit in properly. And there's a little bit of a gap there, so I'm adding a little bit extra cardboard right there just to kind of fill it in. And then a little hot glue, that's going to smooth it all out. Like that, and then it should be all good. And here is where I needed to re-put rocks in, just to give it a little more weight because it was falling forwards. So you should do this before this problem arises, but you can easily seal it back up afterwards, and you're not going to notice it too much once it's all painted up. But once all that's been done, it should stand just fine. Look at that, thumbs up, all good. Just extra little cleanup, doodle daddle. And did you know that a Ceratosaurus is a reptile? Oh, hot-blooded! Oh my gosh! Dinosaur fact. So. Here we're just cleaning up the front of the snout here, and this really just smooths out the front, makes it look nice. You could use hot glue, but I just use paper, and this really, it's again, do what you want here. Hot glue works, I think, for this part too. But again, this will just smooth out the front and make it look all nice and clean. I use paper because I think it looks better than the other alternative. And again, at this point, you just want to spend as much time as you need cleaning it up and making it look nice. And then once you think everything's good and ready to go, we're going to cover the whole guy in Elmer's glue. This is when your hand's going to get sticky, and you just got to smooth it all out, and then you got to let it dry. Very time consuming, this part, but once you've got it all smoothed out and ready to go, we'll be moving on to the final stages. And I'm getting ready to do something here. Yes, front teeth. We gotta get this Ceratosaurus some front teeth. He needs those teeth. So we're gonna be giving them those. As you can see, they again like molars. We're just gonna cut them to fit, and Elmer glue it first. Get them nice and hard, and then we're gonna snip and see how it all fits in there. As you can see, I got it in there, and then we're gonna just cut. And it really works if you do pyramid cuts. I don't know what that shape is at the moment. It escapes my memory. Triangles. So just do triangle cuts. Works pretty good. And then you can just clip the teeth right into the top there. I did use hot glue there. That was a mistake. Should have done that. But it looks alright. Yeah, you can see how thick they are. Yeah. Too thick. Those are too thick of front teeth. So it's like I cleaned up a bit, but once they're patched up and everything, they'll be all good to go. You can see there's a little issue with some of the teeth, so I'm just adding some extra teeth in there just to kind of clean up the front of the mouth and attach some extra bitsies in there, just to get it all to fit in properly. Again, don't know fully what I'm doing. I'm just getting things to fit in there and work out properly, and that's how all my builds go. And it turns out alright at the end, for the most part. But yeah, we're just gonna get the front of the head sealed up here, some glue, and we're just gonna clean it all up and make it look nice. And now we're going to move on to painting the inside here of the mouth, nice and gummy color. This is a Citadel paint. You can use other paints. I just have Citadel paint at my disposal, so that's what I use. And now we're going to put the little gribbly bits on. And apologies for the screen here. New camera. So for some whatever reason, the camera decided to film in this format. Apologies. Shouldn't happen again in later builds. But this is how this is done for this part. So hope you're okay with that. And if not, sorry. Not sorry. But I am sorry. So we're just going to add some little spikies to the top of this guy here with some little gribblies. Just to add some extra little detail, little bone spikes. And we're just finishing up here, covering it all in Elmer's glue afterwards, after the first layer dries out, and this is too nice and seal them up there. They shouldn't come off. They should be permanently locked in there after this coat. And yeah, we'll be finishing up here pretty soon. Just a few more coats right here. So here we go. We're going to poke the noses. Get this nice and poked, like so. There we go. And then we're going to do a little dot on both ends. That way when we paint it, I'll know where that goes. And here's the paint I'm using. And you can use whatever. You can even use crayon or pen or whatever. I'm just spraying it with the colors I had at my disposal. So it's going to be brown for the base. So I'm just spraying it all up here. Just giving it a good old spray. And then I've got my Citadel paint. You can use whatever kind of paint. I just have Citadel paints. That's what I've got. And so now I'm getting some paint brushes picked out here for the painting. And we're going to start up here. So I'm going to start with some hues color here. This is kind of like a skin tone. And I'm going to get a nice belly going on the Ceratosaurus here. And just getting that belly all coated up with some nice doodle paint. And then we're going to be putting a little bit on here. Like that. We're going to get that little paint off to the belly. And we're just going to scoop that right on down. Paint. Amazing stuff. We're just going to paint that up right like that. And I'll probably do a few coats of that. With the paint. And yeah, so it's coming along pretty good. I just gave a nice paint job going on the side. Then we're doing the other side. Doing my best to match with the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll be able to tell from both sides. But as long as you get it pretty darn even, it should work out pretty good. And just make sure you get a nice coat going on. And yeah, we're just going to be painting this guy up here. Just painting him up. Getting that side all done, all the way down to the tail. Though, if I was my tail, I wouldn't have to do that. But now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the next bit of paint. And that's getting the teeth painted. Some of the paint, the brown paint from the spray paint got onto the teeth, so we're just going to be patching those up, getting them all nice and pearly whites. Getting those teeth all done up there. Look at that. Nice. Very good. Then we got my green here. It's like a bright green. And we're going to be painting on the top here. And giving this guy some nice green color. And we're going to make him nice and pop with this color. I debated what colors I wanted to paint this guy, but I ended up with green. Just like nice swamp color green, camouflaging with its right environment a little bit nicer. So it's gonna have a nice greenish pattern to it. Brown and green are pretty good colors for camouflage, I think. So we're gonna give the Ceratosaur that bit of a color scheme going on here. Then we're gonna get the stripes painted down the guy here. And we're just going to do the outlines of the different stripes, different patterns along the body here. And you can paint it however you want. You can do like speckles or whatever. Or you can just copy me. It doesn't matter. No wrong way to paint your Ceratosaur. Sean is going to be, just eyeballing it and kind of just winging it with my paint. Just kind of figure out where I feel like putting it and bringing it on. Now, of course, if you're Mattel, you can stop before you do the tail. But since I'm not Mattel, we're going to make sure to get all the paint down the tail. Alright, we're gonna get that nice and good. Nice and crisp. We're going to get that paint there. No shortcuts here. No. We're going to get that paint all the way down. And then we're going to paint the head all green. A nice painted head there. It'll look really good. Yeah, it's going along pretty good. Alright. Ceratosaurus fact. They have 4 fingers. Why do they have 4? I don't know, but they have 4. That's just how they're designed. It's got 4. Ceratosaurus has 4. 4 little fingers. Awesome fact. Pretty obvious fact. You just look at Ceratosaurus skeleton, but you might not notice that right away. So there's a little fact for the Ceratosaur. Alright, and then there's some extra coats here, getting that nice and filled up. And once that is all done, we're going to be moving on and getting the arms a bit of paint. And we got a little bit of dots as well, just a little bit of dotsies of paints, and just bring that paint all together. A little bit of extra paint in different spots, just to give it a little more vibrant to the paint scheme here. And just getting it all nice and done up, you can kind of get it to match as close as you can to both sides. But, as long as it's close enough, it should be okay. And then we're going to be painting the little individual little bony freckles here, just to bring those out a bit, make a little pow, just pop those out. We're going to paint those up, make them look all nice. And get those all nice and painted up here. And also let me know if you like this form of video with me talking throughout the whole thing, or do you like the ones where it's just music and I'm not saying anything? By the end of this, you'll probably be tired of me talking, so you might think that the music one is the better option, and there will be some music in the back of this. But yeah, this is a new style I'm trying out, a little more of a talking you through how I'm doing everything here, and maybe this is helpful. Maybe you want me not to say anything, you find me annoying, and you rather just watch it and not have me talking at all. You can tell me, or not, whatever you feel like doing. But yeah, the Ceratosaurus coming along really nice. The paint is getting on there with the little head crest pieces. And yeah, it looks really good. Looks like I painted the claws there. Then the toes have been painted and the fingers have been painted. I guess I kind of skipped that. Don't know what happened there. But now we're doing the eyes. And the claws and toe claws and everything are just white paint. So pretty self-explanatory we can do there. And then we're painting the eyes up there. Getting those nice and yellow. I thought yellow was a good choice for the eyes. And getting those pretty good sized going there. Just getting the eyes, making sure they look good. And then I'm taking a pen and we're just doing a dot for the eye. Once the paint's dry, you just a little bit of dot with a pen. That's it. And then I'm doing my initials, and that's it. And it's all ready to go. And I put the date and everything there. And there we go. All done. And here we have the Ceratosaur all finished up and looking all good. Look at that. Very nice, very nice. And the mouth can, of course, open and close. But yeah, I'm pretty happy on how the Ceratosaurus turned out, and he can stand pretty well. And then now that I say it, he's not going to want to stand. Stand! There he is. And for a quick comparison, here he is alongside my little Gallimimus that I made a while back. If he feels like standing, he's got movable legs, so he doesn't. There we go. And then here is my Carnotaurus that I made a long time ago, but we're going to just put that guy in right there, and the Gallimimus right there. Feels like standing, please. Stand. Stand. Well, anyways, there's a little comparison with them. And yeah, I was looking at the bottom of these guys, and this guy was made back in 2022. This Carnotaurus was made back in all the way in 2018. Oi, I feel Lord. Now, you might have noticed during the video that with the markings I put here for the date in my notes and everything, it's 2023, and this video is coming out in 2024. So without leaving a huge long explanation about where I've been, I've just been having in the past last year just got super down. You can just say I got super depressed, down, and just felt like doing nothing for a very long time. But I'm actually doing a lot better now, and super good. Health is doing a lot better. Everything is just going up right now, so I'm really happy that I'm feeling a lot better, and I don't feel like jumping out the window anymore. So that is that for the explanation, and this is the Ceratosaurus. Sorry it took so long for this one to come out, and yep, so we'll see you all in the next build or next video, because I do have some other videos I want to make as well. Probably some outdated news, but I'll still make the videos anyways, just because I do like making videos, and so, and again, let me know if you like this new format of me
talking throughout the whole thing, or you just like the music and don't like hear my voice at all. Let me know down below. Won't hurt my feelings one bit if you think my voice is terrible and you just want the music without my explaining anything. But I think it might help, with the build if I tell you what I'm doing the way it is. And this is the first time I'm doing it, so there'll be little tweaks as I go forth with it. But yep, so that is the Ceratosaurus. Once again, I'm pretty happy with this guy. I'm happy to add him to my little collection of homemade dinos and monsters. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you all next one. Goodbye.